As you try to pick winners there, don't forget we're all picking winners on November the 8th.
That's right.
Sego. And I'm not talking about the little two-wheel rider either. The deal is this. 15th District goes, kind of lower valley, up and around, and even into Sela.
Right.
And one of the candidates, the other day we had incumbent Dave Taylor on, and Dave, we have a challenger who's already faced and overcome a bit of a challenge herself, given how the primary election went.
That's right.
We have A.J. Cooper in the studio. A.J., good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here. Now,
thanks for having me.
Actual recounts don't happen that often, and there you were.
Especially in these kind of races, these big races usually when the incumbent's there. But, yeah, big surprise.
And so, there you were, Dave, Kirby, and you, locked in a death grip. Can I say that? That's hyperbole, isn't it? Tight race. You were within 10 votes of each other, and it turned out when the dust settled, you won by 8.
Yes.
So if anybody's campaign knows that every vote counts, I guess it's yours, doesn't it?
Exactly. And I have to say, I was impressed with the auditor's office. They were dialed in, and I watched the recount, and everything matched up with their computers. So I was super impressed.
Very good. Just a little tip of the hat there to Charles Ross and Company. All right, so now that you're in and you've been running, what are you running for? What is it that you would like to... let's start with this. Biggest challenges that you think we need to address in the 15th and in the legislature in general?
Well, as you've seen in the news, education is pretty much the top of everyone's list. Well, and as a former educator, it's very important to me. And I know how important it is to have quality teachers. And right now in our valley, we have a shortage of teachers. And even those that we are hiring, we're having trouble retaining them. So for me, I want to kind of look at their environment that they're working on. First of all, making sure they have a living wage. Second of all, our classrooms, they need to be smaller. Third of all, they need to have resources so that they can, create a flexible and curriculum for different learning styles. And our schools are actually becoming more culturally diverse. There was a plan, a bill that was just passed called the Educational Opportunities Act. And so we need to work on to implementing that. So they also need to have the flexibility to add a cultural diversity to their classrooms.
Well, my wife is a new teacher, and she would basically every night just said that, the bigger the classroom with so many kids that have special needs and special catch-up necessary and all of this, the bigger the classroom you are, the less chance you really have of addressing everybody's level of instruction that they need. So I can appreciate what you're saying. And a lot of it's comparable to what your opponent says, too. Dave Taylor is from a family of education, and education is one of his key things as well. But what about the funding aspect to all of this? That's sometimes where the two parties diverge. Are we fully funding? Is the Supreme Court wrong? Do we need more money? And if so, from where?
Well, right now we are relying on our local levies to pay for our teachers' salaries, to pay for textbooks. Some schools are going without librarians or even library programs, period. So definitely relying on those local levies has kind of put us in a bind. So we definitely need to find the state funding there. So, this is something that we're going to have to work together on. Republicans, Democrats, Independents, Green Party, whoever you are, we're going to have to come together and we're going to have to find the funding. I mean, denying the fact that there is a funding shortage is kind of short-sighted, and I think we need to take a look at that. I don't have the perfect answer, but it is something that I do want to take a look at.
Excellent.
Do you believe that the McCleary decision has been fully funded? Has the state met the McCleary requirements, in your opinion?
Well, if we're using local levies to pay for teacher salaries and textbooks, no, we have not.
How about other projects? Education, near and dear to your heart.
Right.
There's other things that the state legislature has to deal with. Is there a plan B and C for you, that other areas of particular interest?
Small businesses. We need to start investing in our small businesses. Right now, our businesses are drowning in taxes. They are paying, proportionally more on their B&O taxes than these corporations that are making millions of dollars. They have ways of getting out of paying some of their taxes. So it's very regressive. I also want to implement the 1433, the paid sick leave, also the, increasing of the minimum wage to $13.50 by 2020. So it's incremental. but also this might be something that small businesses might struggle with. So I kind of want to give them incentives to be hiring people at that minimum wage or even higher, because when we give people the money to earn their clothing, to earn their food, to live in a decent home, they can feel good about themselves. Or we can keep it the way that it is with, the cost of living increasing, low wages, and then we have to put them on social services. So either way, someone's going to be paying for that.
Suggesting the possibility of offsetting the burden of a higher minimum wage with a lower tax structure for business?
Yes.
All of a sudden, then you don't have money to pay for McClary, or does that come from those corporations? Because I know that's been sort of an issue with you, is making sure that they
pay their fair share.
I'll let you say those words. Okay, exactly. But that's you're on. I guess with Sunnyside newspaper, you talked with them, and you seem to be indicating there that you felt that maybe somebody had like zipped to Nevada to sidestep, or Utah, or wherever it was, and some of that. So, okay, anything that's working that you'd like to just maintain, that you say, hey, this is pretty good. I could see us keeping this going.
Well, what I would like to do is some of these bills that have been passed, like the educational opportunity gap. We also have a bill, parent-to-parent programs, to help those that parents with children who have autism or other neurobiological disorders. I would like to help see those. They're there. But now we need to work on implementing them, and I would like to help implement those.
I think not a lot of folks really are aware that oftentimes the legislature does pass stuff that just sits there because there's not funding. I mean, how many years did smaller classroom size and teacher raise and all of that sit there? Maybe nearly a decade. And never did get the funding to do what it was meant to do. So I think that's a very good point.
Yes.
That, there's probably a career or two worth of just sifting through what we said we were going to do.
No kidding.
And making sure we're doing it right.
Exactly.
Now, have you run for office before?
This is my first time.
Thoughts, comments?
The learning curve has hopefully been quick. Sadly, public speaking, I haven't done that since I was in college, and my public speaker teacher told me I looked like I was going to throw up. So that's something I've had to overcome.
That explains why everybody gets a little airsick bag to go to her rallies. Right?
Yes. But walking around for me and knocking on doors and talking with the community, and it's been awesome. It's been so much fun. I'm enjoying that part of it.
You're taking on an incumbent.
Yes.
That's
it
usually
is huge.
But I mean, 8
But those bills I mentioned, he voted against them.
Yeah, I was going to say, what do you think is the key to your success at this point, do you think?
Well, I want people to look up his voting record, just because, for example, he voted against first responders being trained to, in case someone with disabilities was on scene. Well, to me, that's pretty important, and he was the only one who voted against that. So I'm not quite sure the point he was trying to get across with that. I mean, I think firefighters, policemen, our EMTs, our paramedics, they should all be trained. I mean, I think we could save lives.
That's one of the things that everybody discovers over time, is that votes don't always make sense. So there's usually something behind them. I know people that voted whose philosophy was one way but voted the other way because they were making a point. So it's like, is that the way to do it? I don't know. But as you sort through all of that, you are you're in the 15th district, which the legislature created to be a majority district. It was the first one in the state, and in the past couple of elections, there have been a number of minorities that have run and have been, 75-25. I mean, the margin of victory for incumbents and conservatives has been great. Are you a card-carrying Democrat? I mean, is that some of what you're saying sounds amazingly conservative? But so how do you position yourself?
Well, for me, it's I'm socially Democrat. I mean, I feel we have a right to be who we are. So that's where I stand on that. And some of my ideas when it comes to maybe a bit conservative when it comes to financials, when it comes to economics.
And that's not a crime. I'm just trying to pin you down.
Right.
Trying to get a sense for who you are. So do you have outreach to the Latino community? Have you been in contact with them? Do you have a sense of support from them?
Oh, yes, I do. And actually, one of my biggest supporters, Gabriel Munoz, he's run before. He's been helping me out. Teodora Chavez also has run before, and both of them have been helping me out in the Latino community.
Very good. You got about a minute here. Give us your, hey, here's why you need to vote for me speech there, AJ.
Well, like I mentioned before, education's top of my table. Small business, I want to start investing back into Washington State so that we can keep our economy growing. I mean, watching these wineries open, these tasting rooms opening up through the valley, I feel like we have a destination spot that if we keep building on it, we can create it.
Well, we appreciate your time.
Thank you for your time.
Nice to get to meet you a little bit, find out a little bit more about you. CELA lady, kids in school, so you're part of the fabric of the community here. And
fitness instructor.
Always good when people that aren't part of a political process decide to just, step up and see what they can do. So we salute that, and we wish you the best of good luck. And, of course, should you win, we'll expect you to be back here again for further conversations.
Oh, you can't get rid of me that easy.
Right on.
All right. Thank you so much, AJ Cooper.
Thank you.
15th District State Representative.
Yeah.